Today is a special day. Gosh, Earl, we've been doing this for a little while now. This is our 9th annual, and I can't think of a better day in Austin, Texas than when we recognize the RecognizeGood legends. This is always so special. I look forward to it every year because the stories are always amazing. The work that these people do, that these legends do in our community are inspirational to so many. The stories are incredible. I always learn from every one of the legends each year. And so to each of you, we'll be saying a lot of thanks to you as we go through the program. But it is a special, wonderful day for our 9th one. Also with me today, I referenced my good friend Earl Maxwell, who is my partner in crime on this program. We've been doing this, like I said, together, and we'll have Earl come up in a minute, but let's give Earl a big round of applause. If you don't know Earl Maxwell, you need to know Earl Maxwell, and I don't know that there's many people in this community who don't know Earl Maxwell. He is the CEO and Chief Operating Officer of St. David's Foundation, and just one of those persons who is iconic in the community with the work that he's done and what he's given back to so many people in this community. So we'll talk about what we're doing today, and the designation of a legend is really, really important because what it does, we're recognizing individuals who embody the core beliefs of what RecognizeGood is really all about through charitable actions and the volunteer work that they do in our community. In turn, this award becomes a perfect way to say thank you. And that's really been the piece that I've always loved about what we do here with RecognizeGood. It really is about thank you and having a community that recognizes how important it is to give appreciation for the work that people do by saying thank you for the great things. So we're going to welcome the legends, the class of 2018, along with their families and the guests. We'll be announcing the results of this year's Say Thanks Austin campaign in just a few minutes. But for those of you who don't know how much about what's happened in the past few weeks, let me tell you a little bit about what's been going on. During the month of January, all of Austin and people worldwide, and this is what's really cool about this. This isn't just a little thing here. This has kind of grown and infected the rest of the world. But we've come together to say thank you to these amazing legends and using everything from sending. This is cool because there was a time when we had to write everything down. But technology is our friend, and so using technology, we can text things, we can go on Facebook, we can tweet things, all the different ways that we can get these messages out through social media to tell people thank you. And we do want to say thanks to all the people who took their time during the campaign to actually say thank you to the folks. This is where the circle comes kind of full for me, where saying thanks to people do it, but I want to say thank you for all the people who said thank you, because that's an important piece in recognizing that. I also want to thank our media partners on this. This is really cool that we've got some great partners who've supported our Legends program with the Say Thanks campaign and the ceremony. Intercom Radio, our good friends over there, has broadcast the stories of the legends on Magic 95.5. We do that every month. We're able to tell the story about what these legends do. And of course, our friends at CBS Austin have featured our legends on the air. And so because of these partners, we've gotten our message out to thousands and thousands of more people in the community so that they can hear the good stories. And I really do think that's an important part, is how do we share the great work that our legends have done with other people to truly inform them, but mostly to inspire them for the great work that they've done and let the community learn more about the charities that they support and the great work that they're doing. So again, this year, I do want to thank the wonderful folks here at City Hall for making this available to us. I can tell you, I think it's so appropriate and so special. And I'm so appreciative to the city that they recognize how important what this is, what this Say Thanks campaign and the Legends campaign is, by letting us do this ceremony here, and their support, and especially to Barbara Shack and to Don Baldwin for helping coordinate. It doesn't just happen when you do something at City Hall, so we really appreciate the support of all of them. So before we get started with the results of the actual campaign for Say Thanks Austin 2019, we want to give one extra special thank you to a very special person. We've done this for the last couple of years, but we have our Distinguished Legend Award is something we've done, I guess we've just done the one time before. And so we're going to do it again today. And we're going to present it to someone who's dedicated over a decade of his woodworking expertise to give of mobility to people in developing countries without the use of their legs. We're going to, well into his 90s. Did you hear that, right? Well into his 90s. Today's Distinguished Legend Award recipient has continued to be a vital part of transformational work of Mobility Worldwide Austin, which provides handcrafted off-road wheelchairs to those in need around the world. Over 900 of these life-changing mobility carts have been produced right here in Austin, Texas, over 900 of them. And today's distinguished legend is Mr. Jim Scott, who has had a vital part in each and every one of those. So Jim, if you'll please join me up to accept the award. Come up here. We're going to present Jim with a $1,000 donation to Mobility Worldwide. And Jim, thank you, Jim. Want to say a word? Please.
You know, when John Rudd first heard about personal energy transportation vehicles, and he came to a group in the church to make a presentation, and my wife and I went. One of the things that got me was he was telling about all of the places across the United States that make these, and I was thinking, well, what are they going to do whenever they get them all made? And then he dropped a bombshell. At that point, there were 22 million people in the world that needed them. We've got a long way to go. It's a great, great work.
So if that doesn't send shivers down your neck and inspire you, I don't know what will. Jim, thank you so much for the great work that you've done, and congratulations for that award. So I am going to turn the program over now to Mr. Earl Maxwell to introduce all of our award winners.
Thank you. And as Bobby said, this is just a wonderful day in Austin. And quite frankly, it's a wonderful day to be alive in Austin. I mean, springtime, the day after Valentine's Day. And the first time I remember, I grew up in Houston, and the first time I remember it snowing, I was in kindergarten walking home from school on Valentine's, and it was snowing on Valentine's. But today, you could go sailing and have a wonderful time. You know, and yesterday I went to the Austin Philanthropy Day awards luncheon at the J.W. Marriott. There were 700 of my closest friends from the nonprofit and philanthropic community at that dinner. And they went through the awards, and all of that was very nice. But Michael Barnes, who is a news reporter at the Statesman, who's been there for 25 or more years, covering the nonprofit beat, he was the keynote speaker. And I've known Michael for 25 or 30 years. And he's very introverted and is good in an interview situation, but I'd never seen him in front of a group of people. So I wondered, what kind of a keynote speech is Michael going to give? Well, luckily, they had a little table and 2 chairs up there, and the format worked very well because Dave Shaw, who is a communications guy in Austin, interviewed Michael. And Michael talked about the growth and evolution of volunteer work and nonprofit work and did a really great job. But toward the end of that conversation, Michael was asked, well, what is it that you can tell the 700 people in the audience that they could do this afternoon? And it was really interesting because I'm finally getting back to Recognize Good. Michael said, Well, this afternoon, for everybody in the room who goes back to their house or goes back to work and opens up Facebook, he said, instead of just liking things, share something good about somebody else's organization. And I thought, wow, that's pretty powerful. That was his advice to all of these nonprofit people and philanthropists who were in the room. And so I did that this morning because Michael went back and he shared an article that Ken Herman at the Statesman had written about a Airstream trailer. And I don't know if it was in the paper or where it was, but anyhow, I have now shared that with my 800 friends on Facebook because I thought it's such a beautiful story. And so that's what we're here to do today, is recognize the beautiful stories, the unsung heroes. And that's what Recognize Good is all about. Although we'll spend a brief few minutes today to recognize their successes, we'll no doubt appreciate for many years all that they do for people locally and people around the world. In fact, we'll see a lasting impact for years to come and hope the example each person has set becomes a standard for others to follow. So at the St. David's Foundation, we are truly proud of each one of you and everybody who has supported you and everybody else who's in this room, because you wouldn't be in this room unless you were a special person. So, now I'm taking on the mayor's role. He's going to be here later, but he could not be here this early. So we've already heard what Jim Scott's accomplishments have meant to the rest of the world. And I congratulate you, Jim, on a lifetime of service and compassion. And so now let's recap the 2018 Legends program and its success. And we're going to go through and give you just a sentence or two about each person being recognized. We've done this every year, and every year it's just amazing, and it's moving, and it's inspirational. So if you'll please, so I congratulate all of you, their families, friends, and acquaintances, and the people who campaign on their behalf to combine for over 100,000 thank yous cast during this year's Say Thanks Austin campaign. If you'll please stand as I call your name so we can show our appreciation. The first awardee is Wayne Glander. Where is Wayne? Now, Wayne stands out in a crowd. Wayne and I had not met this morning when we both arrived at the garage at the same time, but we walked up the stairs together, and I thought he was probably coming to this award ceremony. So Wayne has delivered, now listen to this, over 250,000 books to children and families since he first began volunteering with Bookspring. And now what's amazing about that is 250,000 books, more than one person reads most books. So there's no telling what the leverage is or what the multiplier is to that 250,000, but I bet it's 1 million or more. So please join me in congratulating Wayne. Okay?
Thank you.
Now the next recipient is Ian McKenna. Where is Ian? Now, when 8-year-old Ian McKinnon learned about classmates going hungry, he started donating produce from gardens he planted and cultivated himself. To date, he's donated over 2,500 pounds of fresh produce to his neighbors living with food insecurity and has made them very happy. Thank you, Ian. How old are you now, Ian? 14. 6 years of that work. I can relate to it because I'm a gardener and have been since I was probably 3. Dr. Ian Thomas. Dr. Ian has logged over 7,000 hours reading to students with learning differences through Manor Elementary, an educational nonprofit learning ally. So 7,000 hours of reading is amazing. And I don't know if you sit on the floor or if they give you a chair, but either way, I hope you're comfortable. Marilu Sanchez. Stay up for just a minute. While studying for her degree in human development and family science at the University of Texas at Austin, Marilu dedicated over 5,200 hours to others in need. It's hard enough just to go to school, but to do that kind of volunteer work is extraordinary. Thank you. Lloyd Pond. Lloyd has volunteered with Austin Classical Guitar for over a decade. Probably knows our technology coordinator, who is Todd Waldron, and a fellow church member of mine. And Lloyd has volunteered for over a decade, not only repairing hundreds of guitars, but shaping the very culture of the organization. And earlier, you saw Lloyd featured in the video. Please join me in congratulating Lloyd. If you ever get a chance to go to any of the concerts for the Austin Classical Guitar Society or group, do it. It's really, they make amazing music. Desley Glover. There you are. Desley has hand-sewn over 100 teddy bears for children dealing with the loss of a parent. Each bear is made from the clothing of a parent who has passed away. Giving the children who receive them an invaluable, tangible memory of their parent. So that is wonderful work. Thank you very much. Jaime Rodriguez. Okay, I thought this might be his family. Jaime could not be here today, but he is above and beyond volunteer spirit of Jaime, even as a teenager, has not only impacted Austin's environment through Keep Austin Beautiful, but set a great example for his classmates. So let's congratulate Jaime Ramirez. I'm sorry, Jaime Rodriguez. I think I said Ramirez. And finally, Kelly Saldana. Right here. Serving in virtually every capacity possible over 12 years of volunteering with University Hills Optimist Club, Kelly has been instrumental in showing thousands of girls the importance of teamwork and sportsmanship. Please join me in congratulating Kelly. So in closing, thanks to all our business partners and contributors, and congratulations to each of these legends, and to all of our legends over the past 9 years for all that you do to make the greater Austin area a better place to live and work. And what you can see by these recognitions is every one of these people has an amazing story, and no two stories are alike. And the work that volunteers do in this community every day is uncharted, unmeasured, often unappreciated, but it's all amazing. So a lot of stuff gets done because of people like you in the room and the people we've recognized. So Bobby, I think you're supposed to come back up here. I will. And Bobby's going to take it over from here.
Nobody could ever take anything over from you, Earl. Always fun to be with Earl. So he said it, 100,000 thank yous. I just love that. I mean, that kind of number is amazing. And so to the rest of the evening, afternoon is really, really cool. We're gonna call each of the first legends up, and we're gonna call them up one at a time, and they're gonna receive a $500 pay it forward check that they then give to the organization that they've done their volunteer work from. And they'll also receive a certificate of appreciation from the city of Austin saying thank you, which again, I'm proud that our city says thank you, right? It says the kind of place we are and the kind of people we are as a community. So I'm very, very, very proud of that. So we'll do this one at a time. So come up, we'll hand out the check, we'll hand out the certificate, and we'll take a quick picture, and then we'll go through each one of them. First one for $500 and a big, big thank you. Wayne Gladner, come on up, Wayne. Congratulations. Thanks. Appreciate it. Congratulations, Wayne. Thank you. Keep standing here in the middle. We'll get a picture. How do we do this? Just like this. Just like this. Okay. Make it easy. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Wayne. Next is Dr. Ian Thomas. That makes my day even better. Thank you for that.
There's the check and there's the certificate.
Come on, and we'll take a picture for our photographer right there. And next is Lloyd Pond. And next is Desley Glover McCurdy. Love what you do. Thank you. Beautiful. Congratulations. Picture for a photographer. And then the next one was Jaime Rodriguez, and as we know, he's not here, but let's give him a big round of applause. Okay, so the next legend that we're going to recognize came in with the third most votes, and we're going to do a $1,500 pay it forward donation along with their certificate, and that is going to Marilu Sanchez. This is for the photo op. Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks very much. And so the legend with the second most thank yous, and this gets to a $2,500 pay it forward donation, goes to Kelly Saldana. All right, so we know what that means. The legend with the most votes, and now going to receive a $10,000 pay it forward donation. Ian McKenna, come on up, Ian. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll close here in a minute. But before I do, we're going to take some photos right afterwards, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that maybe the mayor will be able to make it down. We know he's doing important things, for God's sakes. I will tell you that we are already off and running for our Recognize Good Legends Class of 2019. Can you believe we're already past Valentine's, spring has sprung. You know, you said spring has sprung, which you forgot to mention, that when spring sprungs, what that really means is termites are going to be swarming very soon. So you know that's important to ABC and to me. So I always like to get that out there on these beautiful days. But we need you to...
It's bed bugs.
All right, so our honorees this morning, we do want to tell you how much we appreciate the incredible work that you guys have done. It's just, you do. You leave today, and if you don't have a extra pep in your step and a smile on your face, I mean, this is what it's all about, recognizing people who give back and make our community special. And I do believe this, and Earl knows this. I do think we live in a special place. I think that we have special people that are here. I'm so proud of what Austin is and the kind of community we are. But we're this kind of community because we've got people like our legends right here that really lead the way and really are the ones making this a very, very special place. So again, I'm going to say, let's give one more big round of applause to all of our legends. Thank you.